The ball is pulled to the right side. He's there, safe at first. Next at the plate, Willie Stargell.
Let's go, shoot out.
A liner.
Bring myself in here. Hello. Welcome, everybody. This is number 58 of Sports Goofs. I'm joined by Charles and Andrew here. How you guys doing?
Doing good. Surviving like everybody else.
Yeah.
Hanging in there.
All right, guys. So, what new things have you guys discovered about yourselves over the course of the last week while stuck indoors?
This ain't a big deal. That's what I tell myself. And I was telling family and friends, I'm like, listen, studying for the bar exam for me was worse because it was 2 months in that small little closet in the law library where the fresh air I had was a concrete jungle. That is FIU's campus with like some herons, that's fine, and not the ability to play video games or even read a book because it was just pure out intense law. Here, I mean, I only just started working remotely Monday, so maybe it's a different story, but I was still quarantining and socially isolating myself prior to that. And for me, I can get a breath of fresh air. I'll see my backyard, play with my pets. I will text. I can look at memes and send memes to people. So for me, it's like going to a federal max prison for a long time, which was the bar exam, and then coming here to like, this is just a little jail. Some guy's pissing in the corner and some person's puking, and it's fine. There's that weird guy that I don't want my children around. We'll avoid him. So it hasn't been bad. I mean, the highlight of it is in the soul searching. I just want to know what Charles with a beard looks like. And I was saying it before the show, Andrew, but I'm on like day 11 or 12 of not shaving, cleaning up, sure, but not shaving. And I've never had this opportunity before because I guess my ancestors were genetically deficient scums that we don't really have good facial hair. So I'm trying to break the trend. So I can't really grow a fantastic mustache, but I can get everything else in. So I'm thinking by the end of this, I'm either going to look like a frat boy or I'm going to look like Wolverine, and the Hugh Jackman Wolverine. And I'm really hoping it's that instead of some guy in, boat shoes with khakis and then a button-down short vest, and his real name is Chad, but we're going to see.
I'm kind of in the same boat there, Charles. I haven't really had the luxury of being able to, but I'm pretty lazy when it comes to shaving. And also, on occasion, more often than not, if I shave, then my face breaks out, which is no fun. So I try not to shave as much as possible. If I have to, I'll like trim it down to the bare minimum without having to get the safety razor out. So it looks somewhat neater. Without actually having to shave, but that's, because work or whatever. But now that I really don't have anywhere to be, I'm just letting this thing grow. And I'm curious to see how far it'll grow. Because like you, apparently my ancestors had really crappy beard growing abilities.
We're going to have before and after pictures, you guys.
I have a fantastic beard that I know I can grow, but I'm shaving because, like, when my beard grows, I tend to touch my face and scratch my face, and that's one of the big no-nos right now, so I've got to keep myself clean-shaven as much as possible. I went to Publix the other day, bought a new set of razor blades for myself, and I'm going clean-shaven as much as humanly possible. As far as my hair is concerned, that's the issue, and I might give this another week before I decide, you know what, let's just grab the electric razor and let's just bring it all down. So that'll be an experience if I decide to do that, as things are going to get hotter down here in Florida, and I'd rather not be miserable. And listen, I got like 40,000 hats. If it goes horribly wrong, it'll grow back very quickly, and I've got 40,000 hats to cover it up. So I'm good. if I do mess up shaving my head. Yeah, come bringing families together. I sat down with my aunt and my uncle to have dinner over the weekend, like a couple times. Like I haven't done that, I don't know, in forever. I guess it's law school, since I was in law school. Like the first year I was 1L year. So it's like, oh, this is kind of nice. I forgot what this was like, with sitting down with them. So discovering new things about myself like that, like, oh, I miss that. I've been playing with my nephew on FaceTime because I can't go see him, so I've got plenty of amiibos and dinosaur models and stuff. So I've just been making up stories and finding a different way to play with my nephew and my niece, even from afar. So that's pretty cool. That was pretty fun. Yeah. So, all right. So I've got Andrew. You're gonna love this. I have MVP Baseball 2005 in the background.
That's amazing.
So
prior to all this, I didn't really have a lot of time to play video games or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But recently I decided, I was having a bit of a nostalgia kick. So I've been playing as I mentioned, I want to say last week in my non-sponsor, that I've been playing a lot of MLB 17 The Show. But I decided I wanted a bit of a nostalgia kick, and I decided to dust off my Xbox,
which
Xbox quote-unquote One.
Okay.
Not the Xbox One, the Xbox, the original Xbox, which I think it is so stupid that they called the new one the Xbox.
Wait till
One,
we have the Series X.
What's that?
The Series X, what they're coming up with next. The new, the next generation of the Xbox. I don't even know if that's going to come out this year with all the stuff going on.
They're trying because November, but all that faculty of the facilities,
sure.
Who knows what can happen.
Yeah, that and hey, I had no job. Let's throw $600 down for the new Xbox this Christmas.
Right. It's I don't know. It's it's stupid that they would decide to call it it's just like, come on, like, go, keep it easy. Xbox, Xbox 2, Xbox 3, Xbox 4. But I digress. I could go down that rabbit hole all day long. But I decided to dust off my Xbox. I still have a few games for it. MLB or MVP 06, NCAA baseball. Got FIFA Street for it.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is MVP Baseball 2005. So I dusted that puppy off, and man, hearing that soundtrack again is just all the nostalgia.
Oh yeah.
And the graphics on MLB The Show are obviously better than a game that came out 15 years ago. And 15 years ago, good Lord. And obviously I love the addition of the Road to the Show, the player-centric game. But overall, MVP Baseball 05 is just such a better game. It's more realistic in a sense. The pitch speed, the reaction time that you need to hit is much more accurate. I went back and played, and I was like, damn. I felt like I had no time to react, which is how it is in real life. In MLB The Show, you actually get some time to react, even if it's 100 mile per hour fastball. It's the equivalent of a changeup almost in MVP Baseball. You can build your own stadium. It's just a so much better game, and I'm glad that I decided to dust off the Xbox for it.
Alrighty. All right. So this is because I guess the stuff on like NFL free agency and all that stuff is happening, but I decided because nothing game wise is happening, let's just improvise this episode. Go on the fly here, and go down what I call the sports rabbit hole. So I've loaded up Wikipedia to try to see what we can find out and go as far down the sports rabbit hole as possible. We'll start off one place, and then by the end of the episode, we'll be in a completely different topic that we might even go off the rails and do something non-sports related as we keep going on. Hey, I wonder what scoliosis is about, and we might just go. we might just learn something today. All right, guys. So Wikipedia is up. Do any of you guys have anything in sports that you guys have ever wondered about, or just want to like look up, just off the cuff? And then we'll go from there. We can click on links. We'll go from there.
I think a good way to kind of start this out is maybe we pick a sport itself, and then we divulge into the theories that we have so we can proceed it.
Okay.
Because the best way. So I would say maybe to get everybody engaged, the NCAA has made it to where they're going to allow seniors, I believe, be able to continue next year due to the whole code or CV. Just so Google doesn't censor us.
Whatever.
So maybe we want to get into the idea, because I know we touched upon it when we had our guest speakers about how it was originally for college football, when they were doing all the bowl tournaments, but maybe we want to talk about anything that's college based. Football, baseball, what have you. The inception of March Madness. Who created March Madness, guys? I never knew. I was born into this world, and I just was told March was a crazy month. Now for three different reasons. Before it was St. Patrick's Day and March Madness. Now it's St. Patrick's Day, March Madness, and the PTSD I'm going to have 10 years from now when someone tells me, and your change will be 2020, and I have my eyes bulbed out, and then you hear the war songs of the Flights of the Valkyrie kicking in the background because of this whole CV stuff in March. The true March Madness.
Let's see. March Madness. For basketball, of course, the NCAA Division I men's basketball tournament was founded in 1939. There are 68 teams, which is one away from being a really nice tournament. The most recent champion is Virginia, and they should really add one more team. And anyways, most titles ever won was by UCLA. TV partners include CBS, TBS, TNT, True TV, CBS Sports Network. They're the ones that cover, which is why you have Sir Charles Barkley as one of the commentators for that. All right, so here we are, March Madness 1939. Let's see. Do they have?
Wait, before we go any further, are you guys having issues with Twitch as well?
Yes, it's saying video download was canceled. Please try again.
Video download was canceled?
That's the error I got.
Same. I have the same thing.
But I know the show's still going.
It's on YouTube. I know that. YouTube doesn't have any issues so far.
All right.
And
so
on Twitch...
Twitch is mad at us.
And on Twitch, for me, I mean, I don't see anything on the screen, so... Seems to be blank on Twitch. On our Russian network, it's working. So that's great to hear. On Twitter / Periscope, that's working as well. So we're working on most of our networks. That's why we have 14 of them, because if not, just in case one goes down after the other, or we get banned from the other one as well. A new addition, because there's no sports crawl anymore. I've added our handles for Twitter and some of the accounts that we have. I only have your Twitter handle, Charles. I don't have your Switch or your PlayStation account.
I will send that accordingly.
Yeah, and I've got it for Andrew as well, his PlayStation and all that stuff, his Instagram, all that jazz. So people want to check those out, they can. All right. So there's like a bunch of different conferences here, mid-major last time. Tournament history. All right. So we are here. The last time, as of 2020, a mid-major team from a small media market defined as a market. Fudge. This thing is. Come on now. This thing needs to cooperate with me if we're going to get this thing going. Because I'm trying to find the history here. Last time, as of 2020, a mid-major team from a small media market won the national championship was arguably 1962, when Cincinnati won 71-59 over Ohio State. And
the Bearcats.
A small media market is defined as a market out of the top 25 television markets in the United States in 2019. So there are some interesting things there. We can keep going. The Horizon League. What is the Horizon League? It's a 10-school.
No idea.
10-school collegiate athletic conference in the national in the NCAA, whose members are located in the Midwestern United States. Member schools include Cleveland State, the University of Detroit Mercy, the University of Wisconsin Green Bay, Indiana University -- Purdue University, Indianapolis. That is a long name. IUPUI. Okay.
Sounds like something
That's,
in a grade school.
IUPUI, also known as IUP, is Indiana. If I remember correctly, it's Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis. It's a it's basically IU and PU, or Indiana and Purdue combined resources, so it's one campus that's funded by both schools, located in Indianapolis, and you still get a diploma. You don't get an IUPUI diploma. You get a diploma either from Indiana or Purdue, depending on which school you're enrolled in.
Really?
But they just decided to pool their resources to get one campus.
That's super interesting. Wow. You see what the rabbit hole has done?
Well, the rabbit hole from this one is courtesy of me having done trivia for, I think we're entering our 5th year, unbelievably. So it's weird to say that. It doesn't feel like it's been 5 years, but we pick up a lot of random stuff.
I bet. University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, Oakland University, Northern Kentucky University, University of Illinois at Chicago, Wright State University, Youngstown State University. Okay.
Home of the Penguins.
Yeah, that's right. Man, you are good, dude.
I'm not sure if
Wikipedia.
I'm not sure if he's currently their head coach, but their head coach was for a bit Bo Pelini, who is perhaps most known for the Faux Pelini Twitter account that was that kind of followed him around when he was the head coach in Nebraska.
Bo Pelini. Okay, so we're gonna go on and learn about him. Because now that you've said this, let's keep going. Bo Pelini is the American football defensive coordinator for Louisiana State University Tigers football team at LSU. He is the younger brother of former FAU head coach Carl Pelini, who has frequently worked under Bo as an assistant coach. He serves as the head coach of the Nebraska Cornhuskers from 2007 until 2014. Prior to that, he was the defensive coordinator at LSU, Oklahoma, and the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Okay. All right, Bo. Let's learn a little bit about you. You're 52 years old. You're from Youngstown, Ohio, which is where Sir Thomas Baker is from. If you guys remember him.
Really? That's where he's from?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
Tommy Bakes is from Youngstown, Ohio.
Tommy Bates.
Yeah, he went to Catholic school and got the. That's when he earned his. It's kind of like a hero's origin story, you know, where he learned he got his power suit when he was in Catholic school as a young boy.
Oh, jeez. Did you guys ever take him First Amendment, or was just con law that you stuck to?
Con law.
Just con law.
Oh man. Side hype. If you guys, anybody out there, ever goes to FIU law, I say don't, but maybe you do what you want, adults. His con law stuff, I didn't have it for con law, but I heard the horror stories. But I love me that First Amendment class because he just didn't care. It was great.
It wasn't a horror story. He was like, it was kind of scary at first, but then at the end, he's like, he becomes like this sweetheart. It's like, oh my god, he's just like a giant teddy bear.
Absolutely, no doubt.
His wife makes cookies for everybody just before you take the final exam.
Oh, like, we did not get that treatment in First Amendment, but he just said it's not attendance is not required, but you still went to class anyway because the man is just a brilliant brain.
Yeah,
he is absolutely brilliant. No doubt about it.
I mean, side note, as we're going down the rabbit hole, but did you guys take Foley as well?
Yeah.
Civ Pro, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so Civ Pro wasn't really her cup of tea. Her con law is what I had. Oof, it was like two brains. Like, if you felt, you know how you get like an amplifier, so like when I'm you know, going to our DBZ phase where I'm Gohan and I'm just getting beat down and I think about my dad and gets me extra motivated to fight somebody, maybe turn Super Saiyan. That's Foley and Baker combined to one person. They are the Goku of con law, and that's the hype to them. I think that's the only positive thing I've said on the show about FIU law or just going to law school in general. Continue, gentlemen. Bo Pelini, Bo-nosed.
Well, let's see. Hold on. Goku was created in 1984 for the Dragon Ball Chapter Number 1 Bulma and Son Goku, June 19th, 1984. Okay. Oh, guys, I played earlier today, I played Nicktoons MLB. Which is, I have to say, one of the weirdest experiences I have ever had in sports video games. So I've pulled it up right here. Nicktoons MLB, which released for the Xbox 360, the Wii, the DS, and the Nintendo 3DS. Really, the PS3 did not have this game, nor the PS2. That's interesting. Alright, includes characters from Nickelodeon shows SpongeBob, Invader Zim, Ren and Stimpy, Danny Phantom, Planet Sheen. Dear God, who watched Planet Sheen? That was a horrible show. Avatar The Last Airbender, Fanboy and Chum Chum, which I have no idea what the heck that is. Tough Puppy, and two characters that only appeared in 3DS, which were from Jimmy Neutron and some other one from Monkey Quest. And there's a bunch of other characters. Anyways, there are playable characters there. SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy Cheeks, Larry the Lobster, and the Flying Dutchman represent the SpongeBob franchise. Danny Phantom is the only Danny Phantom rep. I don't know who Dudley Puppy or Kitty Catswell are, but they're from Tough Puppy. Mr. Naismith was from Planet Sheen. Sheen Estevez as well. He's from Jimmy Neutron too. Ultralord, which is the toy that or superhero that Sheen was obsessed with from the show. Fanboy and Chum Chum from, I guess, that show, which I have no idea what it is. Aang, Katara, Toph, Zuko were all from Avatar The Last Airbender, which is interesting to see them playing baseball. Zim and Gaz from Invader Zim. Ren and Stimp.
No Gur?
Gur is the color commentator.
Okay.
That's gotta be fun.
Gur is the color commentator. Ren and Stimpy, Powdered Toast Man, and the Gilded Yak represent Ren and Stimpy. And Jimmy Neutron and Hero Mighty Paw, which I have no idea what they are. But they are playing alongside actual Major League Baseball players on the Wii version. None of the baseball players are recognizable. Our Lord and Savior Derek Jeter is in the game, but he does not look like Derek Jeter at all. Giancarlo Stanton goes by Mike Stanton in the game. That's how old this game is. And it received a 65% from Game Rankings for the 360 version.
So, question or agreement. We can all agree, and I'm going to say it now, so whoever has watched it, don't yell at me. I've never really gotten around to watching The Last Airbender. I wanted to, but never happened, but I know some of the characters, so it's fair to say that...
Hold on, Charles. I thought you were a weeb. Or a semi-weeb?
A dweeb to a weeb, but, you know, I think what stops me was... I'm weird. Can you even call Avatar like real anime? Like I know people are shouting.
I call it. I would say it's American anime.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just never came around because it was Nickelodeon, and the minute that I had pubic hair, I think I just stopped watching Nickelodeon. Oh. So I didn't know that these things had existed, and it came later in life. Mind you, it might be a thing to watch during this quarantine in my quarantine stream.
Yeah, that's true.
I am also watching right now. Like I'm trying to catch up on Adventure Time, which is a crap ton of episodes. Jesus, I wish I caught up to these things during the years. But I know enough about Avatar to understand like the basics of the characters that you want to root for. So is it fair to say Lord and Savior Derek Jeter is Aang? Kind of bald, super magical powers, the chosen one, has an entourage of dudes, and he's so good that even when they made the spin-off, he's still referenced, you know, in today's times. Mm-hmm. Is that comparable? Because it's so weird that they would have it.
Maybe. I've never thought of it in that context before.
I haven't either until this very moment. You wanted rabbit hole.
Oh yeah.
We're just going to create paradoxes and wormholes in the rabbit hole.
Well, this is some sort of weird or wormhole or that happened here that created this insanity that, oh, you know what it was? It was 2K Games. They got the MLB license and they had no idea what to do with it other than make mediocre Major League Baseball games year after year while Sony made the show series, which is the showcase baseball game.
To expand on that a little bit, and I know it's Nickelodeon TV rights, but you're not gonna have like the seminal show that they always kind of played stickball or baseball, which is Hey Arnold in there. You're not gonna have those characters.
That was one of the things that surprised me. They have Ren and Stimpy, which is as the oldest property that they have there, and I'm surprised when did this release? 2011. I'm surprised that they made it in there. Like I get SpongeBob, I get Aang and the Avatar people, and I'm surprised Jimmy Neutron wasn't in it. Like you have Sheen, but you don't have the titular character from Jimmy Neutron, that type of stuff. You don't have
Carl.
Yeah, you don't have Arnold. You don't have like any of the Rugrats. You don't have.
Well, they're babies though, so
okay. You don't have Rocco. You don't have Cat Dog. I mean, there's so many missed opportunities for characters here. They only had, I think there were only 12 ballparks in the game, so this is how stripped down it is. 6 of them are Major League Baseball stadiums, and the other 6 are from the series. The 6 baseball stadiums were Fenway Park, Wrigley Field, New Yankee Stadium, Rangers Ballpark in Arlington, for some reason. Who are the other super popular teams? Rangers, was it Turner Field? I think Turner Field. And Dodger Stadium. So I think those were all of the... Oh, yeah, that was it. Yeah, those were all of them. Those are the representatives for this game, for baseball. I get... Yeah, I guess if you had to pick 6 of them, I get Wrigley, Fenway, Yankee Stadium, and Dodger Stadium, but Rangers Ballpark in Arlington, like, you got Camden Yards. I would have chosen that over the other one. Or one of the retractable roof stadiums, like Seattle or Milwaukee, or Minute Maid Park, one of those.
How much was there a cutback to the MLB's getting? I'm assuming if 2K had this license, because it's such a weird thing. They'd probably be better off just making Nicktoons All-Stars the way Mario did all the games that they did with the Mario Tennis, the Mario Baseball.
I don't know. I mean, this was their weird. This was a weird time for baseball games. Like after 2K got the third-party exclusive rights, and then like for some reason Microsoft and Nintendo decided not to make baseball games, and then Sony was like, you know what, we're just gonna make our own and just be awesome at it. And this is a weird time. So these are all the teams here. It was a weird experience, to say the least. And
was it a good game for you though? Did you play it?
I played it. I played it today. Like I found it through nefarious methods, and although I don't think anybody would want money from this game anymore, it's a very mediocre baseball game, very bare bones. It's super easy because it's made for kids, and it's just the weird. You see these cartoon characters next to realistic-ish looking baseball players. I was surprised they didn't stylize the baseball players' looks, at the very least. Like, have them look very generic, but like a stylized generic to kind of match the tone of what they're trying to do here, just so it's not that jarring to see them next to each other. I don't know.
I gotta tell you, this makes me, since we're going down the rabbit hole, we're also gonna have a flashback here. Throwback Tuesday is what we'll call it. Who Needs Thursday? I remember being a kid and going on to like Cartoon Network or Nicktoons and playing their sports themed games. I don't know. I think it was Cartoon Network where you had the dodgeball, and you just play their characters. You go on the computer, you go from there, and it makes you really, really wonder where like the modern day stuff came in, because I would enjoy that as much as doing a platformer or something else in there. Now I feel old. Now I kind of want to go back to it, find an emulator, and then realize I hate my life. That I'm 30 with a badly scruffy beard in the process. Thankfully, I have my hair, but my body hurts me. But I always have that memory of like hitting somebody with Ed and Eddie and dodgeball, the Powerpuff Girls. Because is it not themed when you're a kid? Is it not themed based sports games of your favorite characters or TV shows the best thing ever?
I mean, yeah, that the whole crossover thing is that's why heck, I gravitated towards the Mario sports games. Those are amazing.
Oh my God, Super Strikers on the
Mario Tennis. I mean, this is all sports related. Sheesh, Mario Tennis on the N64. Oh,
chef's kiss right there.
Yeah, that was. I don't know what. I guess it was like a Nintendo Power magazine that I got, and I found out about it and stuff like that, because this is early internet for me, late '90s, and I'm like, man, this sounds like a really cool game. I knew nothing about tennis. I'm just like, there's Mario and he's doing fun things, and lo and behold, I forgot what did I get it for? Let's see, it released in North America August 28, 2000. So I probably got it for my birthday. My birthday's in September, so I got it for my birthday, and it was like, my God, I tried to watch real tennis because of this game, and I realized that real tennis is way too freaking long and is not as fun.
There's no power-ups.
Yeah, there's no power-ups. You don't have a gorilla.
I mean, I've seen the Williams sisters. I kind of see them on fire a little bit because, God, those ladies are intense.
Yeah.
But besides them...
Yeah, you don't see a gorilla versus a flame-throwing turtle monster in facing off against each other. So that's kind of the weird... That's kind of like the weirdness that I'd love to see. It's kind of like the reason why I like extreme FPSs like Quake and stuff like that. I just like the extremeness. I don't like the simulated military shooters. But and the Game Boy Color version was an RPG, which it was very different.
I remember that, yeah.
Speaking of, let's keep going down this rabbit hole. Serena Williams. I mean, we're going down here, so we're at tennis. So you mentioned Serena Williams. There she is. She lives in Palm Beach Gardens. I think she partially owns the Miami Dolphins.
I don't know if she does anymore, but I know her sister J-Lo and all of them, Mark Anthony, were trying to like 6 years back.
Let's see.
So things might have changed.
Let's see. Off-court activities, equipment endorsements. In early 2000s, she wore Puma apparel and footwear on court. She used the Wilson, blah, 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 blah. Also had endorsements for Gatorade, Delta Airlines, Audemars Piguet, I don't know what that is, Aston Martin, Pepsi, Beats by Dre, Mission Athlete Care, Burley Bras, OPI Products, One Piece. One Piece? Oh, okay. I thought that was the anime.
Yes. She's just trying to complete the dub. It's okay.
I'm like, when did this? I'm like, what? Was she in an episode? Anyways, IBM, Mini, Intel, Temper, and Chase Bank. She is the current CSO, Chief Sporting Officer, for British luxury automobile manufacturer Aston Martin. So they created a position called the Chief Sporting Officer just for her. She accepted the contract in June 2015. I don't know what the Chief Sporting Officer entails. Let's see. She posted on social media and said, "I'm loving my first day on the job as Chief Sporting Officer and Director of Fun." Okay.
What? So she's just a spokesperson.
Yeah.
They just didn't want to go from.
Yeah, they just kind of gave her a different
because
name, like a different title.
I think if you wanted an actual contributor to the sports entertainment world, you would get somebody who's in racing, not NASCAR, because we don't need the hillbillies who drink Bush. You get like that F1, fancy Italian.
Yeah.
Not Ricky Bobby, but the guy who's going against Ricky Bobby, kind of race.
The Sacha Baron Cohen character.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just somebody that's going to make you, who has a manservant played by the guy whose Netflix specials are kind of funny, and I don't remember his name now, but he was also on the 70s show. You need that kind of guy who actually knows, like, how to turn left and right at a high speed, I guess. I mean, granted, I don't. Something tells me Serena could be like a secret agent. She's built like an agent. She's smart.
I mean, she's worn those. Yeah, they said they talked about her. Let's see, in 2002, there was much talk when she wore a black lycra catsuit at the U.S. Open. So like, she's already dressed for the part.
I mean, let's think about it. Now we're going to go to a rabbit hole of ideas. I can totally, in today's modern times, pitch a movie where it's about Serena Williams, or a TV show, because Netflix makes TV shows. Serena Williams is a secret agent for the U.S. At nighttime, and it's her just whacking people in the head with the tennis racket. She just had a kid, I think, so they can have family-friendly stuff. And then, she could have a cool.
I mean, they revived Carmen Sandiego, so it's not that far. It's not that far off, really.
We'll give her famous catchphrases, like she could just go and say "serve this," and then. You know what she could do, guys. Let's just go down this rabbit hole right now. We can make literally a secret organization. Think of Hydra, but with good guys, secret agent, tennis players, and you call it ACES, but it's an acronym, and then it starts with Athletes Commissioned Espionage Services.
Oh my God,
we just did this, like.
There is no way you just came up with this
it's me. So we talked about Sheen from Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
You're looking at the 30-year-old version of him. And you guys should know this per my interactions in person and then just over the show for the year and change we're doing it. We just made the show. Netflix, copyright and trademarked it right now. You can have it. But if you want our monies, and Serena, girl, you got to think about life after it. It's time. I'm in Martin County. You're in PGA. I'll drive to you.
Exactly.
We will use Zoom debatably if nobody has access towards it for confidentiality purposes. We'll make sure you get a whole thing. And what we do is like she goes out there on the missions, and then think of it like Q, but her tennis racket can unfold in so many things. So she'll break it apart to put blocks, and then.
Have you ever watched? Have you ever watched Totally Spies?
Yeah.
that's what it reminds me
of. We get Venus cameos, and then every now and then we can just have like Rafa and
Roger Federer
come in,
Andre Agassi, Pete Sampras.
Yeah, but if we want to go like Totally Spies remake, we have to get Sharapova just retired, so she could be like
the evil Russian.
Listen, Maria Sharapova is a defect who just retired and doesn't know what to do with her life, but wants tennis to be involved. She doesn't want to be a teacher. In comes Serena Williams knocking on her door in full vest. You need to come with me. And then they introduce her to Aces. So she's like the supporting
like
character.
The Nick Fury in a sense.
Serena's show.
A little Nick Fury.
Yeah. But the thing is, like Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury, every time Serena's on, she steals the scene. Because, then we create the spin-off. And that will be something, I don't know. Sharapova is not like the most engaging athlete to me. So maybe we'll do something with like golf. And when Tiger's fully retired, we can have the clubs organization. But I don't have the acronym there. But this is happening.
I
right
mean,
now.
they all do live in Palm Beach County. Like,
And guys, and then we could have the crossover episode. It's literally, it will be like, remember when Fairly Odd Parents and Jimmy Neutron, to bring it all back to Nickelodeon,
That's
and they have the
true.
crossover
That's
episode?
true.
You guys. And then what happens is you have the little scene where Serena and Tiger just kind of break in, but they have each other's respective.
it kind of reminds
weapon
me
device.
of the DC shows on the CW, the Flash and Green Arrow. Like sometimes they have their crossovers, you know.
Oh, this is better than Infinite Crisis. We're going to be seeing Serena Williams, with her golf club screaming 4, and then we're just going to see Tiger Woods with a tennis bracket just, shouting service or whatever the hell they yell at when they do things aside from grunting aggressively like a bear crapping in the woods. This is gold. This is what the episode is about.
Oh, yeah.
People, if you're listening, please still tune in. Mother Russia, don't worry. We'll have Sharapova's spin-off show for you as well. I don't know really that much Russian. I'll figure out the acronyms later. Please feel free to tell us on Twitter. Sports Goofs, FJAO, JR, Dan Free Holidays.
It's
and
all
Charles
on the
True.
screen now, so yeah.
Okay, I'm done with that. That
I mean, this
beautiful
is
list.
it was beautiful. It was this is the beauty of the rabbit hole. This is the beauty of the rabbit
What
hole.
just happened?
We made a baby television-wise, and Serena Williams is going to be.
We
calling
are
us
a
really
long
soon.
way away from Bo Pelini at this point.
Yeah, so let's bring it back to Bo.
Well, forget. Oh yeah, by the way, let's see. 2009, Williams and her sister Venus became minority owners of the Miami Dolphins. After purchasing a small stake in the team, they live near Palm Beach Gardens, about an hour's drive from Dolphins Stadium. Is it?
All right, but hear me out, because now
Maybe.
we thought we
On a
were
good day.
we were going out of this, but now we have to keep to it. You want to get the Miami Dolphins to be publicity? You have Joe Burrow won't be there. Tua
There you
being
go.
an intern because their main headquarters is going to be in the Dolphins locker room when it's not in season.
Oh boy, that's well.
Well,
And
actually,
it's perfect.
speaking-
It's perfect because the Miami Open is at Hard Rock Stadium.
Well, it's not happening now.
But that's where it's being held now. You know, it's for the last few years now, like 2 or 3 years. It's been held there. So it all makes perfect sense to have their headquarters at Hard Rock Stadium.
Yeah,
Oh,
do it in in one of those luxury suites they have.
oh yeah. Oh, this is wow. Like, ooh. Have like Dan Marino as Bosley or something. I have no idea.
Well, I mean, it would be Wayne Huizenga just comes back. Is he still alive?
No,
Because he
he's
just
not
comes out in a
alive.
big
He
role.
passed away last year.
Well, there you go. I mean, well, no, I think you have Jeter be Bosley, right? The ultimate goodness.
Jeffrey Loria would have to be an evil villain. That's for sure.
He
Of course.
he'd have to be like the ultimate boss, like Giovanni in Pokemon. You have a lot of sub. They give us a lot of sub bosses.
I mean, and he has like a cat, like kind of like. Well, actually, Giovanni had Persian as his like evil cat next to him, and just like Doctor Evil has Mr. Bigglesworth. That's
This time he'll have Joe
Oh,
Exotic with his damn
Jeffrey
tigers.
Loria is 79 years old now. I did not know that. Yeah, I just went down the Jeffrey Loria rabbit hole.
Well, you know what? Let's continue with it. Tell us about Jeffrey Loria and why he's hated by the city of Miami.
Do I have to read Wikipedia for that one?
No, you don't. Pure gut instinct.
Oh God. Ooh. Not only is he a cheapskate that pockets all of the revenue that the Marlins ever had and never put it towards having a competent and competitive baseball team for the most part, even though they had the tools for it, swindling the city and county of Miami for probably now a few $1 billion that they are going to pay back, I don't know, after I have left this realm. Yeah, there's so many. He's hated in Montreal. We can say that too. He's hated in Miami. I guess he lives in New York now, because that's where he's from. He was a New York Yankees fan. And I would assume he's a New York Yankees fan now. I don't think he has That's the thing. I don't even think he's a fan of the Marlins at this point. He probably sold the team,
Was
and
he ever really a fan?
I probably not.
Or he was just an owner?
He just wanted to be in the owners club, you know. Yeah. Let's see, Loria. Let's see. He purchased a stake in the Oklahoma City 89ers, which is 20 numbers more than a very nice team name. AAA affiliate. There's got to be a team out there that's willing to be called the 69ers. Something had to have happened in 17, 18, or 1969 that was significant in some city in America to warrant.
I mean, Brian Adams did a whole song called "Summer of '69."
Yeah.
Nice.
They were a AAA affiliate of the Texas Rangers. They won the American Association Championship in 1992. He sold the team in 93 and began to look to buy a Major League Baseball team. He lost out to Peter Angelos in his bid to buy the Baltimore Orioles in 1994. And I'm sure Orioles fans got the lesser of two evils in that ordeal. Because
I would certainly say that they got the lesser of two evils.
I guess so, because Baltimore fans hate that guy.
Yeah, but at least he didn't completely tank the team.
They were
twice.
They were
3 times.
Well, they were competitive. The Orioles were competitive in the late '90s. I remember that. I mean, there was the infamous '96 ALCS against the Yankees. And they lost in '97 as well. I mean, they had Mike Mussina back then, of course. Aging Cal Ripken, Armando Benitez was on that team too. Yeah, blowing saves as always. Anyways, he bought a 24% stake in the Montreal Expos in '99 and became the managing general partner. And then he had initially tried to buy the team in 1991 from the founding owner, but he balked at Loria's demand for a controlling interest and subsequently sold it to Claude Brochu. Blah, 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 blah. He added an ownership group that included the city of Montreal, several Montreal businesses, and Stephen Bronfman, Charles' son. When a series of cash
Death Wish?
Yeah.
Interesting.
When a series of cash calls over the next 2 years went unanswered, Loria ended up with a 93% of the team at a valuation of $50 million US dollars. One of his first acts was to reiterate that Olympic Stadium needed to be replaced. Olympic Stadium in Montreal, I think it got paid off only like 3 or 4 years ago. One of the worst Montreal had one of the worst planned Olympics ever. There's a lot of articles about that. I mean, he's right. Olympic Stadium is kind of like a dreary looking place. I've been there. It's very depressing on the outside. You would never have guessed that the Olympics were held there. Anyways, yeah, and the whole sale of the Expos, he lucked into that 2003 Marlins team. A monkey could have owned that team and they would have won and beaten the New York Yankees. I mean, that team was stacked. Oh, those guys are my heroes. Anyways, yeah, there's a lot of things that. Okay, let's go to the Oklahoma City 89ers since we're here. we're heading down to Oklahoma. All right, Andrew. Not Tulsa.
All right.
But we're in OKC now.
About 2 hours southwest.
Oh,
not bad.
Really? Okay. They are now the Oklahoma City Dodgers. Oh, this is perfect for let's see, but better known minor league team, the Oklahoma City Dodgers here. So they were. Let's see. Come on, it went away. Gosh darn it! Hold on, guys. It's reloading. We'll get back to this soon enough. This is how far are we? We're at 49 minutes here. This has been a very interesting episode.
I'm basically writing down my notes to pitch Netflix.
Yeah. Oh, what was I watching? Oh, I was watching Rick and Morty. I was watching Rick and Morty, and I forgot which episode in this current season that's happening. but the end of the episode ends with like Morty trying to pitch a show to Netflix.
Yeah, that's the second episode.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, and like Rick discouraged him from pitching his show because it was a heist show. It was a heist movie or a heist story or whatever. And he's basically the whole episode was just about how heist movies like Ocean's 11 and all that are just kind of boring and the same. So, yeah, that's what it reminds me of. So Charles is going to go down to the Netflix studio. They're taking everybody's ideas at this point.
And listen, I can tell you now, there's a lot of athletes who retire that always want to be in front of a camera. They just go and become, an analyst or a color commentator, or they just get their Mark Teixeira on, where they just come in for a couple minutes and they fake it and they go from there. Love me some Mark. You're good Tex. But Serena, you got money.
Mm-hmm.
You pay for acting classes. You become actress. You win some Webbies or Emmys or whatever the hell Netflix does. Charles gets some monies. We make good business. And the thing about Netflix deals, we get it front loaded. 100 episodes, fully filmed, knocked it out. We'll be pulling the anger management that Charlie Sheen did for FX so they don't come out of it, and we get syndication rights. I got you, honey. We're good.
Oh, yeah. All right, Oklahoma City Dodgers now. They're, let's see, founded in 1962. They play in the Pacific Coast League in AAA. They used to be the affiliates of the Houston Astros from 2011 to 2014. So I guess this wasn't the gestation period of all those cheaters, I guess, or some of it, maybe. Some of it. Texas Rangers, the Philadelphia Phillies, the Cleveland Indians, and way back when they were starting out, the Houston Colt 45s, which are now the Astros.
Can you name a team that? Yeah. I mean, that sounds so much better than Astros, though.
The Colt 45s?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know. It all matches Houston.
It just reminds me. It reminds me of the Afro Man song.
Oklahoma City 89ers from 62 to 97. Then the Red Hawks from 98 to 2008. And then the Red Hawks again. Oh, they were the Oklahoma Red Hawks, and then they changed to the Oklahoma City Red Hawks. And now they're the Oklahoma City Dodgers, which is kind of boring. Yeah. Let's see. They play at Chickasaw Bricktown Ballpark. Okay. Well, then.
Wait, hold on.
What?
Wait, this is the Oklahoma City Dodgers you're looking at?
Yeah.
I may be able to show off some of my Okie here.
Really? Okay.
I just have to make sure that I'm looking at what I think I'm looking at.
I want to see if they have any. Let's see. Okay, notable players. That's where I want to go down to. Cody Bellinger, Jim Acker, Hank Blaylock, Steve Bush. Oh, I thought it was Steve Buscemi. Steve Bushell, Marlon Byrd, Walker Buehler, Francisco Cordero, Carl Crawford, Nelson Cruz, Chris Davis, Doug Davis, R.A. Dickey, Justin Dush. I don't even know how to say this. Andrew, write this down for your game where we mispronounce last names. Scott Feldman, Neftali Feliz, Adrian Gonzalez, Juan Gonzalez, Travis Hafner, Matt Harrison, Gabe Kapler, Dallas Keuchel, Ian Kinsler, Danny Kolb, Dwayne Kuiper, Zach Lee, Ryan Ludwig, Rick Manning, JD Martinez, Mitch Moreland, Max Muncy, Jeff Newman, Alexio Gando, Carlos Pena, J.R. Richard, Gerald Saltalamacchia, Ryan Sandberg, Corey Seager, Ruben Sierra, that's a name from a long time ago, Justin Smoke, Sammy Sosa, George Springer, Edison Volquez, C.J. Wilson, Michael Young, and Josh Zeed. That's a lot of significant names on here. Yeah. C.J. Wilson, I haven't heard that. Whatever happened to C.J. Wilson? Isn't he in Anaheim?
I don't know.
Hold on,
he kind of disappeared. Ruben Sierra makes me think about MVP 2004 when he was on there. I think he was at the Yanks at that time.
He was in that 2003 squad. I know that because he hit Game 4 Game 4, 2003, I think he hit like the game tying double in the ninth inning to send the game into extra innings. Yeah.
Your memory is impeccable because I can't remember like World Series stuff except for like the big highlights.
Well, there's only been 2 of them, and that one was the one that I definitely remember because, as I've said before, those guys are my heroes. All right, C.J. Wilson. Okay, let's see. Is an American auto racing team owner now. This is different. And a former professional baseball player.
Nice.
Wow, did not know that. Wilson pitched for the Texas Rangers from 2005 to 2011. And for the Angels from 2012 to 2015, he is the founder and owner of sports car team CJ Wilson Racing, which competes in the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge full-time and WeatherTech Sports Car Championship part-time. I have no idea what that means. He's from Newport Beach, California. And yeah, I guess he's one of those myriad of players that just kind of dies in Anaheim for some reason. Isn't like the Angels have had a lot of
not wrong.
The Angels have signed a lot of like high profile free agents that just kind of sort of die in Anaheim. You know?
Yeah, Albert Pujols, Jared Weaver, and his career.
Yeah.
I mean, he was born and raised as a player there.
Yeah, C.J. Wilson.
Remember with the Mike Scioscia days, they were dangerous.
That's, I mean, yeah, but
they're very terrifying.
I mean, Vladimir Guerrero, who was the first Angel to ever be in the Hall of Fame. Vladimir Guerrero was, let's see, who else is it? But like lately, I'm talking about lately, like the 2010s Angels, not the 2000s Angels were very competitive, you know. Yeah. Let's see. I do remember distinctly
Mike Trout and who else did they get?
Well, Mike Trout, of course, the pitcher, the Japanese guy, Ohtani.
Shohei.
Yeah, there you go.
But they also got somebody to help out Mike Trout, and for some reason, I know
Anthony Rendon,
because they got him, and we just laughed. Yeah, because we're like, oh hey, who's gonna throw the ball?
Yeah, Anthony Rendon.
Because they have no pitching on that, and they have Joe Madden, but.
Yeah, I think they're hoping that hey, Joe Madden, World Series championship in Chicago. Anthony Rendon, hey, champion over in Washington. Let's get Trout some help. 13-year or 10-year, 300 bunch of $1 million contract. Hey, let's see if we can win a championship in the next decade with this guy, or else he'll be the.
I mean, hey,
he'll be the.
Might as well be them because the Dodgers aren't winning.
He'll be the Ken Griffey Jr. of our generation, if that's the case. And Andrew, weren't you gonna tell us your Okie? If you're.
I was, but it turned out that you were actually correct in the pronunciation because there's a town in Oklahoma that's spelled CHICKSHA, which some people pronounce as Chickasha, but it's actually pronounced Chickasha.
Okay. Interesting.
But in this case, it's Chickasaw, so you got it right.
Okay. Alrighty.
It's funny. The 2 states that I've lived in my life are both incredible influence when it comes to Native American names.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say that I'm an expert in it, but I definitely, I guess, have an above average ability to figure out how some things are pronounced.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, this is very interesting. Let's see. Wilson races race cars in his free time and has mentioned he aims to be a professional racer after his baseball career. He also is highly interested in cars, having a collection of Porsches as well as a custom-painted McLaren P1. Wilson won the E1 class in the 2010 25 Hours of Thunder Hill. He races a Mazda MX-5 in club races and owns a race team that competes in the professional Global MX-5 Cup Series. Wow. CJ owns
I guess he could be the CSO.
Yeah, he owns a CJ. That's true. That's true. He should be the chief sporting officer, whatever Serena Williams is. CJ Wilson owns CJ Wilson Mazda, which operates in Countryside, Illinois, like I guess the Chicago region for some reason, and Ventura, California. He's also the general manager of Porsche Fresno, and raced in the 2018 Pikes Peak International Hill Climb. And he married a Brazilian model. So things are going great for CJ Wilson in his retirement. That's for sure. Okay. You do you, dude. Fantastic. Oh, boy. Oh, we're at the 1 hour mark, guys. So this is a word from our non-sponsors, people and places and things and concepts, what have you. Down this rabbit hole of weirdness that we're going down here. So, I don't know, guys. Who do you want to go first?
I'll start.
Sure.
My non-sponsor of the week is the Oziri ZK14 Pronto Digital Multifunction Kitchen and Food Scale.
You're going to have to slow that down so I can look for it. The what?
Oziri.
Oh boy.
Zeri.
Zeri.
ZK14.
ZK14. Pronto Digital Food Scale?
Pronto, and it should.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
Okay. This is very interesting, Andrew. Let's
So as you guys. So as I have mentioned once on the show before, I am doing the weight loss recently, and something that I was noticing was a lot of not most, but a not insignificant number of serving sizes are based in ounces. Which I don't know how to weigh ounces because I'm not a computer. So I said, you know what, I need to get myself a food scale. So I did a lot of research, and eventually the answer came that this was the best overall food scale, and it was at a pretty decent price. So I said, all right, let me go ahead and get this. It just came in today, as a matter of fact. I haven't had a chance to really use it, but I'm looking forward to being more in control of serving sizes and whatnot, because now I can measure stuff in ounces.
Wow, fantastic. Look at that. They come in different colors, too.
I got the silver with the black.
Nothing too flashy.
Nothing too flashy.
Oh, okay.
No.
Alrighty.
I'm not a flashy person.
Okay, that's fine. So so you've gotten good use out of it now.
Well, I actually haven't used it at all yet.
Oh yeah, that's right. You told me it's okay. All right.
But I know it's going to come in handy for sure, because, like I said, there's a lot of stuff where I just kind of have to guess how much it weighs.
That's true. It's very much true.
So having this will enable me to figure out, okay, it's not what I think it is. So yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. So alright. So that's the Oziri ZK14S Pronto Digital Multifunction Kitchen and Food Scale. You can get that for $14 on Amazon at this point. Interesting.
Promo code is not a computer.
Not a computer. Okay, that's good. I guess I'll go next. So guys, I have been. I go in my spacesuit every time I have to go to Publix. I'm essentially calling that my hazmat suit in a sense. I wear a hat. I wear a bandana. I wear a N95 mask, long sleeve jacket, sweatpants, strap shoes, like the whole works. Like nothing is getting as much not touching my skin as possible, or going through any open holes in my body. And you can kind of interpret that any way you want. Anyways, so learning how to conserve food, and sometimes combination foods are really awesome. Like things when you mix something with something else. That's always one of the cool things. It's like Nicktoons MLB in a sense, a cool weird crossover. But unlike Nicktoons MLB, the thing I'm going to talk about is not mediocre at all. It is a fantastic invention that the first time I ever tried it, I was but a wee little boy, and it is Goober. Goober, if you guys don't know, is the combination peanut butter and jelly that Smucker's sells.
Oh yeah.
I thought you said Goop for a second. I thought it was Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh no,
yeah, the Goober stuff was great, man, as kids, or if you're a poor law student.
No, what Gwyneth Paltrow does is just selling snake oil. And there's a wonderful video by JonTron about her weird, almost cultish fan base with the whole Goop thing, but that's a whole other aside. Anyways, Goober by Smuckers, it is fantastic. It has America's Favorite on there. They sell it in two flavors. They've got the grape version and the strawberry jelly version. The jelly, it's not really like jelly. Like, it doesn't have the same consistency, same texture as jelly. It's kind of like a jelly filling in a sense. So it's not really jelly, but and the peanut butter even tastes different. It doesn't taste like smooth, creamy peanut butter either. It's something different. I don't know what chemicals are in here. Actually, let me look at the chemicals right now. I don't know what distilled monoglycerides are, and I might get cancer for it in 20 years, but they're really good, and I enjoy this a lot. And it's a fantastic product. I have loved it since I was a kid. I don't buy it very often, but times are different now, and enjoy life's pleasures while you have them. And that's what I'm doing right now with this wonderful jar of Goober. So promo code open holes. Alrighty.
Open holes.
Open holes. Interpret that any way you want.
Oof. I obviously need to go see a therapist if that's where my mind takes me. So before I go into it, because I gotta ask, what's the better flavor, Francisco? Raspberry or grape?
I've been on a raspberry kick for a while now. I never really ate raspberry stuff before that, but like this is raspberry jelly from Aldi's, or not jelly, it's preservatives. But I've been on a raspberry kick. Like if there's a cookie with raspberry filling, I'll choose that over any other flavor. I don't know. I have the grape one in front of me. I didn't get the other version, but it's tough to choose. Sophie's choice right here.
I mean, do they have a combo flavor where some of the streaks are a little bit of raspberry and some of the streaks are a little bit grape?
Oh.
I mean, I'm sure they do.
You should pitch that to Netflix.
It's a true love story in an anime world.
They might produce it if Smuckers won't.
I mean, let's not. Okay, so Love is Blind, or whatever the hell that show is. I don't know what about it, but hear this: a mockumentary anime version of a throuple of peanut butter, raspberry, and grape all conjoined together.
You should pitch that to Seth Rogen. I bet he would do it. He's already got the technology from Sausage Party.
oh, this is great because he's the peanut butter guy and he's doing two different, he's just talking to two different kinds of jellies and he doesn't know what he wants to be compatible to be sold. This is basically the sequel to Sausage Party, except we'll call it Jam Fest.
Oh my god. Oh boy, this is great. You've pitched two different movies, a show, a TV series with Serena Williams and her spy organization, and a peanut butter and jelly sequel to Sausage Fest.
But hear me out. Peanut butter is played by Seth Rogen. Grape would be Jennifer Lawrence because I haven't heard from her in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is where it gets better because you gotta have a little bit here. You can cast the raspberry jelly with a little bit of flavor because everybody loves him, and we're hoping that he's gonna be fine. Idris Elba or Tom Hanks, just that weird dynamic. And then you have bread gets involved, or if you want to do it on the female version of the Grape side, we could do. I'm crazy about Lupita Nyong'o. I think she's a great, fantastic actress. If you've seen her in 12 Years a Slave, and then what was the one that she did with the Jordan Peele movie, because now I can't think about it. I want to say it's Us, but I know it's not Us. And then you can have characters playing the bread, and then he's like, I've been smeared on other breads before and with other things. I don't know what's compatible with me. So then you have and then you get the advertisement for Arnold's potato bread, and you need Tom Arnold voicing one of them, and then Roseanne Barr has to be known because they were formerly married. Or John.
This is Roseanne Barr's.
Tom Hanks.
This is Roseanne Barr's comeback from the controversy that she had beforehand. This is how she comes back.
I feel like David Spade has to be in there as like a sugar because you need that weird voice because it's that. I don't know what the hell I just created. I just created a monster here. Jam Fest coming to your Netflix core and stream real soon. All right, back to the side because we know what this is about. So, gentlemen, I said it earlier. I am doing my attempts to grow facial hair. Or beard. I can usually get what the Seminole chin hair ball sack looks like, right? With the chin hair. We can all get that at 19. But I got sensitive skin. Andrew had reflected upon about itchiness. But ironically, back in December, a Christmas gift to me by mistake was my mother got me a beard cream. She thought it was hair gel or pomade from Cremo. But, in efforts for me to become a Wolverine stunt double for the next movie, or maybe cast, because I'm going to be so famous from Jam Fest and from Aces, because that's where we named the Serena Williams show, that I'm going to be a leading man. So, we're on day 11 in total quarantine. So I gotta make sure this thing looks nice. It's got to look shiny. And most importantly, it's got to take care of any kind of skin hazard or hair hazard. And I've been using Cremo's Bourbon Blend Beard Cream. It is a nice smell of bourbon, and either A, I'm seriously addicted to bourbon, or B, I just like the wood, the oakery char smell to it. But that's been on my face twice a day, and I'm hoping it's been doing good. I haven't really got anything irritated. I also do a little bit of aloe as well when I shave to clean up. But just to keep it consistent. And I just see all these men with these real beards growing out, and I look at them like I'm one of you now. I look at these professional wrestlers like Braun Strowman with his beard, Eric Rowan, who has this great big red bushy beard that he looks like the monster from Looney Tunes. And I feel like we could be distant cousins, even though I barely have maybe an inch of skin. But it's about living the dream, gentlemen, and seeing the future. And I know with Cremo's beard cream, Bourbon Blend, it's going to help me fulfill the prophecy of having this big bushy beard looking like I'm Jerry Garcia, all to be shaved before I go to court because I have to look professional. But this is a journey, gentlemen, just like it was a journey when I went to have Wendy's breakfast, just like it was a journey when I went to get the Cheetos. And mind you, we're not done with the Wendy's journey. I just have to actually wake up in time for breakfast.
What is this called? I forgot to put it on the screen.
Cremo, Cremo. Bourbon Blend is the scent I have. It's gonna make me beautiful, gentlemen. The vanities could be a new thing because now I can do and I've been kind of I wonder what the before and after pictures are gonna look like. I'm gonna show a baby picture of Charles and this thing full effect because I don't have technically court till April 7th, and that's probably gonna get pushed back. So we might have a full month of this still going. We're on day 11. It's either that or I'm gonna look like Charles Manson's stunt double instead of looking like Wolverine's stunt double. But this is a risk that I'm willing to take. I'm aiming for the Abe Lincoln because I'm not gonna let the lip hair grow out because I look kind of weird. I don't like it. I'm a little vain. But gentlemen, I'm ready for this. Cremo, beard cream, bourbon blends, what I have. Promo code Baby Viking.
Baby. Wow. Baby Viking. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh, okay. Oh, there it is. There it is on the screen. Finally, there it is. Oh, there it is.
Francisco, you can use that for your Andrew. You all could be baby Vikings just like me.
Yeah, I'm shaving. I'm gonna keep the shaving going. I might just go full buzz cut with the clean shaven face, but I'll keep this in mind for sure in the future. Okay, fantastic. So, okay, Andrew. So I've got a treat for you in the back. So we've got MVP baseball, obviously, but I've got the Tulsa Drillers facing off against the Oklahoma City, not the Dodgers here, they were the Red Hawks at this point. So we've got an all Oklahoma baseball battle in the background, okay?
Excellent.
All right, and they're playing at the Polo Grounds because they don't have the real minor league baseball parks in this game, unfortunately.
Right.
Oh well. Let's have some.
Ooh, we got an argument.
Yeah,
is he gonna get ejected?
We'll have some fun here at the Polo Grounds.
No.
All right, so we're back here at the rabbit hole. I forgot where we left off at this point because we just had a pitch for a peanut butter and jelly sequel to Sausage Fest. So,
it's called Jam Fest. It has a name. Copyright trademark. No one can steal it.
Original character, do not steal.
Yeah.
This isn't Sonic Forces, but let's see. So, guys,
Oh, we got to call the Peanut Carver, just as the creator of Peanut Butter, George Washington Carver. It's
Oh my God.
Seth Rogen as Carver. Don't worry, I'm just gonna intermittently just came in like names because this is more. Here's the scary part. That's more real than a Serena Williams TV show. Figure that out. And it's all about being a throuple. I can't today with this world.
oh
Continue,
my God.
guys.
Okay. I forgot where we left off on the rabbit hole. Oh yeah, let's go back to Bo Pelini. We learned nothing about Batman when we came up to him. Okay, Bo, we're back to you, dude. We're sorry. Okay, we'll make it up to you on your birthday on December 13th. Okay, we'll make it up to you. Oh, all right. So let's see. Playing career. He was a former center of steel production with a strong. Okay. Oh no. Okay, he was nicknamed Bo after former Cleveland Browns running back Bo Scott. He graduated from Cardinal Mooney High School, the same high school as Bob Stoops. He went on to play free safety for the Buckeyes at Ohio State. Under College Football Hall of Fame head coaches Earl Bruce and John Cooper, Bo Pelini started in his last 2 years and served as a team co-captain in his senior year with Vinnie Clark, Jeff Graham, and Greg Frey. He earned his Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration from Ohio State College of Business. He is a Super Bowl champion. Super Bowl 29. So, 29. Which one was that one? I think it was like the 49ers. Right? Yeah. Yeah, 49ers.
Oh.
Yeah, 49ers. There you go.
Nice.
Okay. All right, so we're here at Bo Pelini, guys. There's many options here. You got Cardinal Mooney High School. We can learn about that. The San Francisco 49ers, New England Patriots, Nebraska, and how they've fallen off the face of the earth. We can learn about that too. Well,
What do you think the CV rate in Nebraska is? Because I don't even think it would want to chill there for a second. Because I know, like, I'm just curious. Now I'm thinking about real world stuff because I can't think about Jam Fest all the time. So I know in 20 years from now, when I have to kind of move for the next pandemic, it's either going to be South Dakota or North Dakota. I'll die before I live in West Virginia. Sorry. But Nebraska seems nice, right? I'm sure they have a lot of corn. Let's talk about the great state of Nebraska.
okay.
Charles's toys.
Let's go down to Nebraska, all right? So we're going to go off to Nebraska and learn about that, going down this rabbit hole. And we'll start at the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Former prestigious college football program and now a shell of itself, I would say. Is that correct, Andrew? Would you say that?
Very much so.
Okay. They are in the Big Ten. They have 22 varsity teams. They wear scarlet and cream. Those are their colors. And, they have two official mascots, Herbie Husker and Little Red. Herbie.
I don't know why.
Herbie Husker. What does he look like?
He better be husky. That's all I gotta tell you.
You're gonna love this.
I hope they have a photo of him.
I'm gonna Google him out because Twitch is still down.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
You Googled it? Oh, okay. All right. I thought he was a giant piece of corn.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah. Instead, if you said, okay, monologue, soapbox time. If you said, draw me.
Lil Red's not even a
most
piece of corn
basic
either.
caricature-
Come on now.
If you said, draw me the most basic, like 5th grade level of what you think a college mascot would be, it would be the Husker dude, as opposed to the one guy that we love so much. I forgot his name.
Keggy.
Was it the Keggy?
Keggy.
Yeah. On originality, you got some guy that basically looks like a Ronald Reagan with a bigger face mixed with Kurt Russell. Is kind of what I'm saying. So that's just that on me. I'm gonna check out Little Red right now.
Let's see. Little Red, one of the 2 mascots. He is the newest mascot created in 1993 after a statewide contest run for that. Really, the entire state of Nebraska needed to make a second mascot for the Cornhuskers, and they didn't think to put a piece of corn. What is this?
So, can we just say Little Red looks like the kid who sniffs glue in the corner? Like, these are so unoriginal ideas. He looks like the kid from Family Circus with Dennis the Menace just got a cap on his head.
That's
Nebraska,
true. He's like a Family Circus kid.
Nebraska, you're disappointing me here.
Nebraska.
What else? What else?
You don't even deserve for us to go down that rabbit hole. We're getting out of this hole, the Nebraska hole. This whole episode is about holes, okay? So interpret that the way you will, but this is a hole-centric episode. Speaking of, remember the movie Holes?
Yep.
Let's go down that rabbit hole.
I do, but I've never seen it.
Let's go down the Holes rabbit hole. Since we're pitching movies at this point, with called Jam Fest.
Well, I'm gonna put a pin on this topic because there's something I want to discuss with you guys about that's related to Bo Pelini. So I'll put a pin in it and we'll come back.
Okay, do you want us to talk about holes or the other topic that you were going to pop? Or are you going to remember the topic?
Well, you said you were going to go down the holes rabbit hole.
Okay, we're going to go down the holes rabbit hole real quick. The film stars Sigourney Weaver, Jon Voight, Patricia Arquette, Tim Bake Nelson, and Shia LaBeouf. It was produced by Walden Media and Walt Disney Pictures. It was based on the 1998 novel of the same name and was released in 2003. Yeah.
Can we just say Tim Blake Nelson is an underrated actor? Famous for Oh Brother Where Art Thou, and the last movie I saw him in was that Scruggs movie, Buster Scruggs, on Netflix.
Oh yeah, I remember him from Oh Brother Where Art Thou. That's right. That's right.
I think he was also a villain in The Incredible Hulk, starring Edward Norton.
He was Dr. Samuel Stearns. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. This is interesting. Okay, Andrew, we're out of the holes thing. So do it. Just do it.
Okay,
I should have had like a green screen effect with Shia LaBeouf coming in. I can do that. I figured out how to do that, by the way. How to do the green screens, whatever. I just have to get a green screen. I just have to get a green screen, and we'll be.
Have you guys seen the little like opera or the song about Shia LaBeouf?
No,
I have not.
They have like a weird thing. My buddy in law school told me it was like a little gimmick. Who's in the corner? Shia LaBeouf or whatever. And then at the very end, that's where he gets the applause. I'll link it to you guys just since we're on the rabbit hole edition.
Shia LaBeouf is 33 years old.
Yeah.
I thought he was older for some reason. I don't know why. I thought he was like late 30s, not early 30s. I didn't realize he was only a year older than me. All right. Anyways, oh god, I'm old. All right, sorry. I was good. We're not gonna go down the Shia LaBeouf rabbit hole, but that's fine. Sorry, Andrew. Go ahead.
All right, so we've been talking about Bo Pelini, and I briefly mentioned earlier that there, and actually still is, a parody Twitter account called Faux Pelini, Faux.
So Charles isn't the only one that comes up with clever names.
Yeah.
And Faux Pelini is taken the college football world by storm. It's almost kind of like Pelini's id. Says what Pelini would think he is thinking, or do you see what I mean?
Is it kind of like it's a parody account? It's kind of akin to Captain Andrew Luck, maybe.
In a way, yes. Except Andrew Luck's, well, I guess Pelini's is based on real events as well, but it's like Bo Pelini if he had no filter.
Okay. Do you want me to put it up on the screen?
By all means.
Okay. All right. So I'll look for that real quick. All right. Give me 1 second.
So the reason I bring up Faux Pelini.
Pelini. FAUXPELINI.
Yep.
So let's see if I get this on the first shot from Twitter. Go ahead, Andrew.
So let's see. I'm going down this. So being in the Big Ten, there's always been a rivalry between University of Minnesota.
Faux Pelini, coach, yeller, philanthropist, anger manager, contributor at The Athletic. Okay.
So Nebraska. So this rivalry is between University of Minnesota and Nebraska. They obviously are relatively close to each other, so they played each other 60 times. First time being in 1900. So it's a very long-standing rivalry. And in 2014, the Twitter account for Minnesota's mascot Goldie Gopher tweeted, "Hey, Faux Pelini, how about a friendly wager for this weekend's game? Team that gets the most points gets a conference win. Seem fair?" Faux Pelini responded, "Okay, how about if we, Nebraska," he was the Nebraska's head coach at the time.
Mm-hmm.
"Okay, how about if we win, you give me $5. If you win, I get to smash a wooden chair over your back."
All right, I'm already a fan, and in the spirit of wrestling.
So there was a crowdsourcing movement between Twitter and RCFB to design the $5 bits of broken chair trophy, which would serve as the rivalry trophy between Minnesota and Nebraska. And you can pull up a picture of it online, and it is literally a trophy with a broken chair and a $5 bill on it.
Wow.
So for a couple of, it hasn't been officially sanctioned by either of the schools, but it's beloved by the fans of Minnesota and Nebraska. And the trophy had disappeared somehow, but in 2017 a new trophy was built, and the $5 bill, which initially had Faux Pelini's head on one side of the bill and Goldie Gopher's head on the other.
Mm-hmm.
It now has Herbie Husker and Goldie Gopher. So if you can pull up that picture.
I'll look for it. Hold on, give me a second. I'll look for it on Google.
It's incredible what people can do when they come together for a common cause.
So let's see. So I just type in like Faux Pelini trophy. It should probably pop up.
No, type in $5 bits of broken trophy.
$5
Bits of broken chair.
All right, I'm looking at
bits of broken chair trophy.
it. I like it. They should. Well, if they've got it as an inside joke, they
The
should
$5
just.
bits of broken chairs rooted in November 2014 banter between the Twitter accounts for Minnesota mascot Goldie Gopher and Faux Pelini.
Like, that's great though.
The chair
They should just allow
has
it to happen.
a Twitter account.
Yes, it does. Like, this was kind of one of the moments that really sort of put RCFB on the map. Because it is just so ridiculous, but it is so amazing at the same time.
In the spirit of college football, right? Just ridiculousness somehow creating a tradition in some way, in a lot of aspects, right?
That is very much in keeping with college football.
Wow, this is amazing. Okay.
Like I said, it is literally a broken chair with a $5 bill. It is a very literal trophy.
All right. This is an interesting hole that we've gone on into. So,
I thought you'd enjoy it.
yes.
So
I hope people are taking this out of context. I want to chop these up and like have this is an interesting hole we've gone into, and then Andrew saying, "I hope you enjoy it," and just take that without context. All right, sorry. Go ahead.
All right. So, question: Do you get that kind of involvement? Do you feel that kind of involvement with mascots just makes rivalries actually better? Because I can find that fine line, and this is for football. This is being a University of Miami fan, so we're just trash. So when you have that friendly banter between, I mean, there's two things that always stand out to me for a college football team. That is the personification of what your team is, or the representation of the symbol of your team. It's either that coach who's been there for a long time, i.e., Bama's going to be Saban, Mac Brown's going to be for the Texans, for Longhorns, and so on and so forth, or the mascots themselves. So
Right.
when you have them kind of getting that involved, because players come and go. They like to stay in there as lifers because, hey, what's better than having the midlife crisis at 40, reliving the years when you were 20-something years old? But you have the mascots themselves doing weird stuff, trying to get the crowd hyped, being on the feature of the ESPN stuff. That friendly banter can get people, maybe casuals and diehards alike, to enjoy it more.
I mean, if I understood your question correctly, yeah, definitely mascots are integral in enhancing the college experience.
Right. Well, I'll rephrase it because I realized I went on a tangent, just put a question mark on there.
Yeah.
In today's modern, which is a Charles thing to do, but in today's modern time, when you have such a mainstream of information connection and information basically of why you should like a team, not that ridiculousness of a faux Pelini, and because I wouldn't have known any of this stuff went down for two schools I really don't think much on, but seeing stuff like that might make me invest, at least follow them a little bit and get a chuckle out of it.
Yeah, in recent years, with the advent of social media, mascots have really started to take on a huge role. They've always served as an ambassador for their school and their team, but even more so now that they have an international, global reach. And people look at Gritty.
Yeah.
He represents Philadelphia, and it's kind of a situation where Philadelphians can badmouth him, but if anyone badmouths him, they're going to beat your ass.
He's probably. I was very surprised of how well he integrated into Philadelphia. They must have thought really long and hard in his design and everything, and the way they presented him, to make him genuinely Philly in a sense.
There's actually a whole article written about the creation of Gritty.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find it for you.
Well, I mean, I'll go down the Gritty rabbit hole. Well,
Yeah, because I don't know much about Gritty, so this is perfect.
But let me finish up this, I guess, or finishing Charles's question. Yeah, whenever Nitro and Rocky, South Florida's mascot, get into it on Twitter, we love it. For instance, back in 2014, Rocky won the I think it was sponsored by Capital One. It was like the Capital One Mascot of the Year award or something. And South Florida just, plastered that everywhere. They were so proud and things like that. They were like such a huge accomplishment. Meanwhile, we won the Fiesta Bowl over Baylor. So we use that as a huge, in your face sort of thing. Because their football team has never really done anything worthwhile in the grand scheme of things. So it's like, while you're winning mascot trophies, we're winning BCS bowl games. And it's, and, kids love the mascots. I mean, UCF, for example, and I'm buying this for my nephew someday. They have a mascot book, a little, it's little like indoctrination book for for young kiddos.
Okay.
And all the big schools have them. FSU has it. Miami has it with Sebastian. UF with Albert and Alberta. And Florida State with Osceola and Renegade. So, yeah, definitely. It's important, just as important now than ever.
It's all about
having mascots.
It's all about that brand. It's all about that.
Exactly. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Excellent.
So yeah, Gritty is the gigantic orange mascot of the Philadelphia Flyers. He was introduced in 2018. The Flyers, they've been a team since 1967.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah, that's Gritty.
Orange Grimace. Orange Grimace. That's what I call him.
Yeah, he is. The Flyers were a team since 1967, and it wasn't until 2018 that they had a mascot. So
he was one of the few teams that didn't have a mascot.
Right, in the NHL. And yeah, out of all I think all of the Philly sports teams had a mascot by that point, even the 76ers. So he came in and he became a sensation mainly because of how they debuted him. He looked horrifying at one point with like the way they made his photos and everything, and then for some reason social media caught on, and all of a sudden he's on John Oliver's TV show pretending to be Brett Kavanaugh. And you have to see that exchange between John Oliver and Gritty as he drinks a Bud Light dressed up as a Supreme Court justice. Yeah, so that's Gritty. Oh, so you know what? Since we're here and we're going down a rabbit hole, Charles, can we go down the wrestling rabbit hole?
Oh, it's time.
We've got 22 minutes, and the rabbit hole has taken us a while. Can we go down a wrestling rabbit hole real quick?
Yeah, and I'll be able to weave it into the small cage segment, and we'll go down the full rabbit hole because I kind of know how I want to gear this into it. So yeah, I'll put my disclaimer for disclaimer's sakes. Welcome everybody to the cage with Charles. Your weekly Truplex is gonna be a little bit different today because we're going down the rabbit hole. Full disclaimer: wrestling is not fake. It is scripted. It is a dance. It is a ballet. It is poetry in motion.
I want to. Okay, so to start with the rabbit hole, I want to know about Mankind, the wrestler, because he always intrigued me back in the day
Mankind.
as Mick Foley. He is we're here now. Please, Charles, can you do better than Wikipedia?
Yeah, I can. So this is how I'll explain it. Mick Foley is, I think, in his stages of being a wrestling character, it's the representation of every single human being during this quarantine, right? Because you have many extremes. You have Mick Foley, the man, who has sometimes wrestled for the WWF or WWE as himself, but then comes the split personalities, where each one is the extreme of who you are. He is known for many things, but he's one of the few unique wrestlers that has basically 4 different characters or assignments, as I'll call them, because there came a different kind of personality and a wrestling skill. Mick Foley is not the most athletic looking, or was not the most athletic wrestler. He's not the very typical person what you think as a professional wrestler. He wasn't a tall white guy with muscles and a bald spot. Looking at you, Hulk Hogan. He was known for basically Japanese death style matches, for entertainment, for putting on new things and putting his body on the line. He has 3 different characters in the ring, not counting himself as Mick Foley, who he did have a couple of matches that he had. Cactus Jack, who was known to be his extreme take on matches in his ECW days with his tag team with Terry Funk. His matches with Terry Funk, what he brought into the WWF when he was that was basically as an extreme. Most notably, you saw a lot of those characters come out when he was going against Hunter Hearst Helmsley, aka Triple H, back when Triple H was the Connecticut Blue Blood, about to join DX. And then he had Dude Love, which was a very weird character, but he would just put on this whole 70s, 60s jazz, like, hey, Daddy-O, hey, Steve-O, and all this other stuff. He would do little Charleston. The theme songs were so unique too, because Mankind's was a little bit weird. Cactus Jack was a little bit more rock and roll. Dude Love was like, hey, 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 and then now it's gonna be stuck in my head because he's groovy. He would wear the hairband or headband that comes into it. And then he had Mankind, and that would be his deranged, tortured person. And there was like 2 iterations of Mankind for me. There was the all brown with the mask, who basically looked like a potato who put on clothes. And then came the back end of Mankind when he joined the corporation, being propelled by Vince McMahon as this next guy wearing the white suit, and then became a character that everybody loved, leading to his championship win against, I believe, The Rock on Raw, or was it Austin on Raw? Which it was pre-taped, and of course WCW, being the dicks that they are, announced it beforehand, because that's when the Monday Night Wars were hard. And Tony Schiavone's like, Mankind has just won the WWF Championship. What a waste, or something of that effect. But he always won people over. And then he had the Rock and Sock connection. Turned out to be tag team champs with him. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to attack each crevice because it's not done. Wrestling in the 90s was a very weird time. It's where characters trumped, or characters were more prevalent than athleticism, or actual guys who were the next generation of wrestlers bringing in new wrestling techniques. So this was perfect for somebody who is trying to get a creative spark in the world, because this was around 95, 96, where the old guard was leaving, at least for WWF terms, and then came the new guard. So you had Shawn Michaels, you had Bret Hart. They couldn't really, there's actually some controversy because Jake the Snake Roberts, who is now on AEW, is saying that those guys didn't draw because they were too small, too vanilla. Bret was more intense but had no character, and Shawn was all show and no go. And then you get Mick Foley, who's busting in as these different characterizations. And here's the thing that you need to understand about weekly television wrestling. Titles mean nothing. I'm saying it as a fan. Titles mean nothing. It's the TV time that is so precious because it keeps you on the screen. And Mick Foley had a way of kind of being there. Not many guys. He's repackaged, and that's a
the
phrase,
Houston Rockets wish they were a wrestling team, basically.
Well,
if titles means nothing,
Yeah, right. They wish they were a wrestler. They basically, Houston Rockets would wish they would be. Ooh, how mean do I want to be? The Sergeant Slaughter of the 90s. He got that WWF championship when he was a heel, when he was basically saying that he was working for the overseas as opposed to being the American hero. It was just transitional championship. Was it Warrior who took the title, or was it Hogan that took the title back, or was it Brett? I'll have to go back into my recesses of my mind. Side note, WrestleMania's this weekend, Andrew. I got to send you the login information. Watch WrestleMania, guys. There's something that's going to be going on for your Saturdays and Sundays. It's a 2-day event starting at 7. I'll talk about that when the time comes to talk about that. But we're going on Mick Foley. So when people get repackaged, it might be a death sentence. There's been plenty of wrestlers that have been repackaged. In WCW, Steve Austin was never Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was part of the, I think, Hollywood Blondes with Brian Pillman. He comes over to WWF. He is introduced as Steve Austin. Then he's repackaged as, or in ECW was Stunning Steve Austin. Then he's repackaged as the Ringmaster, doing Ted DiBiase, and doesn't work. And then he just gets repackaged as Stone Cold Steve Austin. Granted, a lot of it's his own 2 cents put in there, but for other people that don't have the successes, they just fade away. Like Viscera, who was once Mabel, and then Big Daddy V, and then he dies. Then you get Mick Foley, who brings in a different character with a different personality. Dude Love was more sensitive in the ring. Cactus Jack was more aggressive. Mankind was more demented. As Mankind, he was known for the 1997 King of the Ring Hell in a Cell match against The Undertaker when he's thrown off so high. I will send you video clips if you need it, Francisco, to see what the danger wrestling is. The guy dislocated his shoulder, everything, and he still went back up to the ring, and then he's choke slam through the damn ring, and he like survives somehow, missed his teeth. It's just crazy. He won the WWF Championship several times, the Hardcore Championship, Tag Team Championships. Not my favorite guy, because it just wasn't, but I always liked seeing him around. He helped put guys over. He understood the business. He helped put Triple H over. He helped put Edge over when it was being the more extreme guy. There's a match between him and Edge, I think it was the Royal Rumble, where Edge spears him through a table that's set on fire. Mick Foley is known for those barbed wire thumbtack matches. Death-defying is the phrase I'll use. He helped put Randy Orton over when he was the Legend Killer. So, and he also, I think, kind of cemented The Undertaker as a, for lack of a better word, a pure badass for letting it. You can't pay me enough money to have some guy toss me over the ring, or not through the ring, but over the top of a 30-foot cage, because I like living, and I like living with all my functions at full capacity. And to do that for Taker, who is in a weird kind of storyline place, because him and Mankind have been feuding, but he wasn't really title hopping. When you look at The Undertaker back in the mid-90s, the guy should always had the title. He had won the title against Hulk Hogan with Ric Flair's help, I think back in 92 or 93, and only held it for 7 days. Until this Tuesday in Texas when he lost it back to Hogan, and then he didn't have a main title championship until 1996-97. Did he beat Bret, or did he? It was Sid Vicious, I believe, in WrestleMania 9 or 10. But so it was a weird thing. So to keep people relevant, sometimes you have to have those big spectacles. Now, I'm not saying The Undertaker would not be The Undertaker if it wasn't for that Hell in a Cell match, but when you say Hell in a Cell, you say Mankind, I automatically also think Undertaker just chokeslamming through the cage. So Mick Foley, he went around, he wrestled, he retired. He made the bad decision, as a lot of retired people do to go back to wrestle at TNA where nothing really happened, because it's a different crowd base, different wrestlers. You don't have that connection that comes into it. Like if Mick Foley said, hey, I want to come back for one more match, I'm like, all right, who are you going to go against, Mick? And if he's going to go against the old guard, one more match with Taker, though I wouldn't want that. One more match with Triple H, Edge, who recently came back, or Randy Orton, just to kill him, or help put over the new guys. Like Aleister Black, if you want to go mythical, because I'm thinking Mankind, but I'm trying to think of a hardcore guy, but there's no hardcore in the PG era these days. But what have you, at least I can get the engagement. Also, he's Mick Foley, for what it's worth, is a very lovable guy. So there's something endearing about seeing him there. Granted, I didn't like his run as the Raw general manager, but it's a written script. Foley's not really a full promo guy at this stage of the game. He did cut some wicked promos back then. I'll probably find one about him and Triple H that I'll send to you guys. But he kind of set that transition of how to keep fans interested, because to me, if on the outside in, if you're one wrestler who's going through 3 or 4 different gimmicks, I just don't think you can make it. But for him, it's not a gimmick, it's an evolution. Basically, he went from being a little Charmander and now Charizard. I came around. That's the beats and the stages that he did with every step of the way, from being Mick Foley and what he was doing in the prior life, to Cactus Jack, to Mankind, to Dude Love, to the Mankind Mick Foley concept, and then Mick Foley at the very end of it. And that's my Mick Foley rabbit hole conversation.
Okay. I've got some highlights in the background, so the WWE will immediately copyright strike us, as always, as is per tradition.
Thanks, Vince.
Yeah, thanks, Vince. Come on, I plugged WrestleMania. No, you want people to watch it. Come on.
Yeah.
Thank us.
I've got it backwards very tiny on the screen. I as good as I can get it, but he'll probably catch it, and it's muted. So there's a bunch of chairs being thrown into the ring, in what I can only describe as some insanity that's happening with the crowd participating. That's actually kind of fun. This is an idea that I had at law school. To be honest, I said that we should throw some of the chairs off the roof of the law library as a
I remember that.
yeah.
Violence.
Just as a tradition, just as a traditional thing, find the crappiest of the chairs that we know are going to get replaced and just throw them off the top of the building as a tradition. But I could never gain access.
I was all for it.
I could never gain access to the roof. It was always locked. There was a specific door inside the law library on the 3rd floor that literally just says roof, and you cannot get in there. And I've shaken the doorknob many a times, and I was never able to find it unlocked so I could get to the top of the roof. Alas, so I couldn't do everything in law school. But whatever, I would have gladly taken being on the roof over being in law review. I was in neither, but I would take the roof over that one. So, is this the cage dive you were talking about?
Is it Undertaker? They're on top of a ring and they're getting tossed out.
No, I see SummerSlam 1997.
Was it SummerSlam? I thought it was no. SummerSlam '97 should have been Steve Austin versus the.
I don't know, but there's he does not look like the most athletic of guys. And oh my goodness gracious, that is how is he is. I don't. Yeah, never mind. This is wow.
It was so the one I'm talking about. I don't know about the SummerSlam one, but it's Undertaker versus Mankind, King of the Ring, 1998. So I was off by a year.
Okay.
I will go and give myself 1,000 pennants.
We're in September of '97 of these highlights, and we'll probably get to it eventually. But yeah.
Yeah, because I think that was the second Hell in a Cell. The first Hell in a Cell match should have been Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker for the WWF Championship when Kane came out with his debut and screwed Taker over, letting Shawn Michaels retain.
Mm-hmm.
Senpai, whoever Senpai is of wrestling, I mean, I feel like I'm basically Kami, but there's a Beerus somewhere out there when it comes to wrestling. But hey, who knows?
All right, Charles. So we've got many different links here. Where do we go from here in this rabbit hole? WWF hater Shane Douglas. Let's see.
Okay, so Shane Douglas.
Oh, I guess we're going there. I guess
we're going Shane Douglas. And full disclaimer, I do not dislike Shane Douglas. I do not have a feeling towards Shane Douglas. I just love kind of how Shane Douglas poops on everybody in the sense of it, because Shane Douglas was the guy who felt he is the typical guy who said, if I put in my work and I do everything right, I'm going to become a great champion in the face of a franchise. And then there's a thing called backstage politics that came into play and screw you over. I won't go through too much of the accolades and everything that came into it, but he bounced around a bit. He was known for ECW tenure, when I think he was more famous than WCW, which I think he was with the Misfits in Action, the MIA, so that was great. And then he came in at WWF. I don't know about his TNA days, but I believe when he was in WWF, he was known as not the scholar, but he was essentially some kind of like natural. He had a whole presentation of like being an intelligent guy.
Yeah, we've got different, let's see, ring names: Dean Douglas, Mike Kelly, Shane Douglas, The Franchise.
The Franchise, that's what he was.
Okay.
The Franchise, and he would talk about how great it was. And I think he had like the Intercontinental Championship, and he won it, and then he only had it for like a little bit. Bringing up their wiki because I cheated. I had to do it for Shane Douglas. Sorry. When he came back in '95 as Dean Douglas character, as a college dean to establish himself, he would have vignettes of with a chalkboard and paddles and stuff like that. Because remember, wrestling in the mid '90s was the character work as opposed to the athleticism. So here we go. He was set to wrestle Shawn Michaels for the IC belt, but Michaels forfeited the title due to injuries that occurred after being attacked by a Marine in Syracuse, New York. So I remember that story was that Shawn had been drinking, allegedly, from all the podcasts I used to hear. Shawn had been drinking, talked some crap, and that guy decked him in the face. And I think that Raw that they had afterwards, you see Shawn with a big shiner. So Dean Douglas wins the belt, right? He has the match, or he gets it forfeited or something like that, and he has it. And then Razor Ramon, a.k.a. Scott Hall, a.k.a. the man with the toothpick, the bad guy, comes in and beats him that same night. So Shane Douglas only held that belt for 20 minutes. And that really says something. I mean, today's modern day stuff, you'll have weird stuff like the Money in the Bank cash-in will happen after another team, but after another a guy wins it, so that happens. But there was just it just wasn't there. Then he went to ECW, had his success, and then went to WWE or WCW as the franchise. So he was Dean Douglas in WWF, and then WCW was the franchise. And I think he won the U.S. belt and a couple of things in there. But he kind of tells it like it is, at least in the business. Do I take much of his stuff seriously in his opinions? No, but yet I hear Jim Cornette talk, and sometimes that makes my ears bleed. But at least Jim Cornette tells it like it is. So that's kind of like my Shane Douglas route if we went in there. I can always talk about Shawn Michaels because I'm a fan of Shawn.
So Shawn Michaels just happens to be a link right here on Wikipedia, so let's go. We're here in the Shawn Michaels rabbit hole.
All right, so Shawn Michaels rabbit hole is, I like to say you have three kinds of Shawn Michaels. You have the Shawn in the early years when he was with
Man, all these guys are like in their
Jannetty
50s, dear Lord.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? Some of them are still wrestling. They might not be wrestling for the main companies, but to support their income, they're going to do some stuff. Booker T, not only is he running a wrestling ring or wrestling camp, I guess is what I'll call it, he also does some stuff professionally on the side for the indies. So some guys still go. Some stay retired. Some do not stay retired. It's crazy. So Shawn Michaels, and he is Mr. WrestleMania, aside from Taker. Because WrestleMania is this weekend, so let's talk about it. Shawn Michaels is Mr. WrestleMania. The guy came in with Marty Jannetty as their tag team that was coming in as the Rockers. They didn't really have much of success, but they were kind of highlights, and then they split up like all teams do. He had his IC belt, but Shawn Michaels is known for Generation X and also doing his sweet stuff. He put a super kick to its own name. He has sweet chin music. He was the show, man. He was the Flash, the Flair. He was the pinnacle of the Montreal screw job, because there's people who think that he knew about Vince screwing over Brett. There's other people who say that he didn't. We know that he's had some character issues because he was hard to get along with backstage if you weren't part of his clique. The clique was a formation of him, Triple H, Scott Hall as Razor Ramon, then Kevin Nash as Diesel, and I believe Sean Waltman, who was X-Pac, who was also Six, who was also the 1-2-3 kid. But the guy would just put on these great matches. He had a back injury from a casket match with The Undertaker. He was he was sidelined for years after he wrestled Hulk Hogan. After he wrestled Steve Austin at WrestleMania, I want to say 14 for the WWF Championship back in '97, when Mike Tyson was the special enforcer and lost the title to Austin. He disappeared because his back couldn't do it anymore. Then he had the resurgence. So that was his first phase, including in DX. Then he came his second phase of we're back, right? He came back as a commissioner and then disappeared for a bit. And he came back to professional wrestling because he was ready. And his first feud was with Triple H, and they had a couple of bloody matches. He was in the first Elimination Chamber match, and he won the WWE Heavyweight Championship from that, or the World Championship. Yeah, World Championship from that one. And then he was in the bygone years. DX kind of came back, but he retired Ric Flair at WrestleMania. You're seeing the hint. He wins a lot of WrestleMania matches, had a good match with not Shawn Michaels. He had a good match with John Cena. He had a good match with Kurt Angle. He put Angle over by tapping the Angle. Sometimes the American view of wrestling. So here's a fun education for you guys. American wrestling in the States feel that tapping out to a submission hold is like the cowardly way out, and it won't make people look strong, even if you're strong by defeat. That's why you see a lot of people just like pass out in like a submission hold, whether it's the crossface, an ankle lock, whatever. Marty Scurll, who is now the booking agent, but also a wrestler for Ring of Honor, talks about he thinks it's weird because in the real world, you're doing such damage to your ligaments or bodies if you're actually in a real wrestling hold, here's the thing, you get choked out by a sleeper, you can have brain damage, right? Lack of oxygen, stuff of that nature. So why wouldn't you want to tap out versus a guy hitting a finisher? What's more believable, that a person would submit if you have if Brock Lesnar puts me in a Kimura lock right now, you guys, I'm tapping in an instant versus me being knocked out by an F5 down for the count for more than 3 seconds and then flailing around body longer. Whereas in other countries, New Japan Wrestling, what have you, tapping out's makes more sense. But Sean put over Kurt Angle with tapping out, and then he retired Flair, and then came his retirement years. So the best phase for me was his WrestleMania matches with The Undertaker. The first year he loses to Taker, thinking that he's good, and then he interferes with Taker's title match at the Elimination Chamber that helped Jericho beat Taker as the last 2 men left, screwing Taker over because he wants to warm a match, and he told a great story about being obsessed with breaking the Undertaker's streak, because Taker at that time was, I think, I gotta do math, 18-0 at WrestleMania, and he hadn't lost his streak yet because Taker.
Hello, Charles. I don't hear him. Okay.
I don't hear him either.
Just loses all the time at Mania. Guess what? He's wrestling at Mania too.
He's back.
Graveyard match against AJ Styles. I'm gonna watch it. It's gonna be great.
All right, Charles. You're cutting.
Did you hear me now?
Yeah, you're cutting in and out, but okay. All right, you're back now. I hear you now. You're back. Charles? Is he? I think we lost him.
I think we lost him again.
Okay. Maybe the headphones or the internet. Not sure, but we're at the 2-hour mark, Andrew. So we're kind of getting towards the end here. I'm hoping Charles can pop in the next minute, but if not, let's actually, because I want to do this, the real MVP. Charles, you there?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, you kind of cut out for like a long while there. So I moved on to the real MVP just to close out the show.
There you go.
So
that's fine.
Okay. But any last thing about like WrestleMania before I move on to this?
WrestleMania highlight match: Randy Orton versus Edge, last man standing match. Even though there's not going to be a crowd, I'm invested in that. The match that's going to not having a crowd's going to hurt the most is going to be Kevin Owens versus Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels. I'm thinking about him now. Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins.
Okay. That's
going to be hurt the most by no crowd. Whereas Edge versus Randy Orton, I don't need anybody in there.
Okay. All right. Real MVP, guys. Any from the last week? Well, Andrew, you always mention the people we should mention, right? At this point?
Absolutely. The people on the front lines are healthcare workers, are essential workers, supermarket, first responders,
delivery people,
truckers,
garbage men, garbage women,
janitors,
cleaners, anybody who's cleaning at this point.
Anyone who's keeping our society running.
Mm-hmm.
You are amazing. We support you. We love you. Be safe.
I mean, we've learned at the Florida Panthers owner is going to pay the staff, the arena staff throughout all of this, regardless of any events that are not happening right now.
Which, good for him, good for him.
Yeah, he's a billionaire, so he can definitely front the bill for that one.
Now, I do have a personal, or not personal to me, but a singular person that I'd like to single out for my real MVP.
Okay.
And you might actually know this guy. His name is Myron Rolle.
Florida State.
Oh yeah, he was a former Tennessee Titan.
Correct. Aha, interesting. You both have your own connection to him. So Myron Rolle, former safety.
He was a Rhodes Scholar, wasn't he?
Correct. He played for Florida State in college, 6th round pick. Certainly could have been a much higher pick, but his passion was to go into neurosurgery, and he knew that when his football career was over, that was what he was going to do. Smart dude. Like Francisco mentioned, he got a Rhodes Scholar to study at Oxford. And teams kind of gave up on him because they didn't want someone who they seemed as flaky, but or not dedicated to his football career, which is total bullshit. But anyway, he played for 2 seasons with the Titans, was on the practice squad with the Steelers for another. Now he is a neurosurgery resident at Massachusetts General Hospital. He is in the thick of all this, and he's been posting videos to social media describing what's going on in the hospitals right now. And I know that I want to make it clear I'm not singling him out because he's better than any other healthcare worker.
No,
but it's interesting because he could have been a multi-millionaire, done neurosurgery later when he was retired, but this was his passion to help people, and he decided to do it, and now he's putting himself in harm's way for the benefit of people in Massachusetts. So you're the real MVP, Myron Roll.
Another MVP would have to go to these sports uniforms and equipment manufacturers. You and I had posted one in particular on our messaging board, but another one is Fanatics. But basically, Fanatics makes or sells Major League Baseball and hockey as well uniforms. So they have the materials. They're not the official ones, which are like Nike and Adidas, but they make the cheaper version of those. And so Fanatics is making now gowns and masks to protect workers from the virus, rather than, because they're not making sports jerseys. People aren't buying sports jerseys right now, outside of Bucks fans buying their brand new Tom Brady uniforms. But so that's great. Bauer, they make hockey helmets and equipment, but then they've decided to repurpose their manufacturing facility to make face masks, protective face masks for the virus. So they have also decided to pitch in and try and help out with the effort. So this is amazing. It's fantastic, actually. And I'm really glad to see sports community getting behind there. Was it Drew? A bunch of players. Was it Drew Brees was donating a ton of money to Louisiana? Just so many. Like every week we can do this. We're gonna do this every week. Actually, I kind of want to make it a thing until this is all over. There you go. All right, guys. So we don't have any goons for this week, but that's fine. That's fine. We'll we don't have to talk about any goons right now. I'll try and end on a more hopeful note. So good luck to everyone out there. And this was an interesting episode, going down a weird rabbit hole. And
it was one long and continuous rabbit hole.
Yeah, and we went from one place to another, but in the end, Charles now has a Netflix pitch that he is, I'm assuming, going to formulate it while he tries to grow his beard out.
Yep. Two shows, ACES, acronym style, A period, C period, E period, S period, and Jamfest.
I just as an aside, Charles and Andrew, for your Twitter handles or whatever on the bottom, your profiles. Andrew, I've got damp frijoles, so I've got a very wet looking bunch of beans as the background for yours. And Charles, I have a I have a action figure of Ric Flair.
I have never been more proud of my life. I might cry.
So there you go. All right, guys. We're done. That's it. We're done. Adios.
Take care.
Good night.